we are studying topic kingdom Animalia, and for so many days we are studying this classification of animal kingdom, and we have studied many different phylums. About 10 different phylums we have studied with its characteristics and examples. Now today we reached to the final or last phylum of kingdom Animalia, that is phylum Chordata. Now phylum Chordata's further classification into subphylum, into classes, subclasses, everything we are going to study in details, but from next video onwards. So in today's video, we will just take an overview of phylum Chordata and different characteristics generally present in all the chordates, and we will just take an overview of this, and next video onwards we will study a complete classification of chordata. So let us begin. Now when we consider this chordata name is from the Latin term where chord means rod and ata means group. So the animal group which bear rod, the animal group which are with rod, here rod means notochord. What does rod means? Notochord. So chordata include all the animals with notochord. Understanding? So this is the first general characteristic. Now when we consider this chordata, large number of animals are basically included in chordata. Around 45,000 different species are included in the chordata. Now when we consider a human is also included in chordata, then birds are also included, reptiles are also included, amphibians are also included. So many animals in our day-to-day life are basically included in chordata. Now when we consider chordates, that time they show some distinctive features, which these features are called as diagnostic features. Now these diagnostic features separate chordata from rest of the non-chordates. So there are total 4 such diagnostic features. We will study these diagnostic features. We will try to understand these diagnostic features, and then we will study general characteristics of chordata. So the first diagnostic feature of chordata is presence of notochord. Now we have already studied what notochord is. Now do you remember what notochord is? Notochord is a rod-like structure which is passing from the dorsal side of the animal. And what is its significance? Why it is considered as such an advanced characteristic? Because it separates dorsal side from the ventral side. It separates digestive system and nervous system. On our dorsal side, nervous system is there. On our ventral side, digestive system is there. So it separates both the system. Even this rod provides attachment for the muscle. So this rod is considered as advanced characteristic, and whatever animals are with notochord, are with this rod, are considered as a chordates. So this distinguishing feature, this diagnostic feature should be there in every chordate. Now next differentiating feature is presence of central nervous system. Now try to understand what exactly is the central nervous system. Our nervous system is central nervous system. We are having brain and spinal cord. Now whenever nervous system is having brain in the head region and spinal cord on the dorsal side of our body, that is a characteristic, or that nervous system is called as the central nervous system. So all the chordates, okay, are provided with central nervous system. Understanding? The next characteristic is presence of gills. Now, as I told you, human also come under chordates. Are we having gills? Are reptiles having? Is lizard having gills? Is cow having gills? No, correct? Then why this characteristic is diagnostic characteristic? Now remember, presence of gill at some stages of life. Now in the embryonic condition, when we are growing in the early embryonic condition, we show the presence of gill slits, and afterward they get replaced by lungs. So at least in certain stages of life, All chordates show the presence of gill slits. Then next characteristic is presence of tail. Now again the same question. So many animals we know which don't have tails, correct? So many chordates we know which don't have tail. For example, frog don't have tail. Agree? For example, humans don't have tail. So, but why the tail is considered as a distinctive characteristic or diagnostic characteristic? Now try to understand. Here tail doesn't mean exactly that long tail which dog is having. Here tail means some vertebrae after the some bony structure after the spinal cord. Okay, so here we are having the cloacal part, which is like cloacal vertebrae. We are having those, and we consider that as a vestigial part of our body. Vestigial means actually we don't use it, but in evolution it was trying to vanish, trying to go away, but still we are having some remnants of it. We call it as a coccyx. So we are having a coccyx vertebrae which are indication of tail. So almost many vertebrates are having this tail region. So these four are the distinguishing characteristic or diagnostic characteristic each chordate is having. Now, so remember the diagnostic characteristic. First one is presence of notochord, most important. Second one is presence of nervous system, presence of gill slit at least at certain stages of life, and presence of tail at least at certain stages of life. These are the primary characteristics which each chordate should have. Understanding? Now, along with that, chordates are having other characteristics which we have studied in the previous non-chordates, like bilateral symmetry, triploblastic, organ system organization, metamerism, cephalization, endoskeleton, closed circulatory system. So these things, the meaning of all these terms, I need not to explain you anymore, isn't it? Now you must be expert in understanding all these. What do you mean by triploblastic? What do you mean by organ system organization? How exactly the endoskeleton is and everything, correct? So let us just take an overview of classification of chordates, and then we will study each subphylum of the chordate in details. Now chordata is basically classified into subphylums, and the subphyla are on the basis of fate of notochord. Fate means future of notochord. Exactly what will happen with notochord. Okay, that on that basis chordates are classified into three different subphyla. Now the first subphyla is Urochordata. Don't worry, we are going to study them in details, but here I am just taking an overview. So first subphylum is Urochordata, second subphylum is Cephalochordata, and third subphylum is Vertebrata. We human beings come under Vertebrata, amphibians come under Vertebrata. We are going to study them in details. So Urochordata include the animals which are having notochord only during its larval stages and only in the tail region of larval stages. Then Cephalochordata include animals who are having notochord throughout their life from the head to tail region, not restricted to any part of the body. It is whole complete notochord is present. So Cephalochordata are little bit advanced as compared to Urochordata. Understanding? Then when we consider vertebrata are little bit advanced than that of the Cephalochordata. Okay, here in vertebrata this notochord is replaced by vertebral column, a bony structure. Okay, and this bony structure provide protection to the spinal cord. Understanding? So this is all about chordates. So in next video onwards we will study in detail about Urochordata, Cephalochordata and Vertebrata. Till then, remember the characteristics of chordates and 4 diagnostic features of chordates and its further classification. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye, take care.